$60 trillion, an unimaginable amount of money. That's the projected grand total of what was taken from the American working class, the bottom 90% in America, and transferred to the wealthiest families in America, the top 1%, in the last 48 years. This is the conclusion of a comprehensive study from the Rand Corporation, one of the most reputable nonpartisan think tanks and consulting firms. $60 trillion. By the way, if you enjoy political literacy, please subscribe for new videos. Thanks for your support. This study from Rand analyzes economic data under the fiscal policy of Republican-led supply-side economics, and then projects what the economy would have been like if the United States government continued with the Democratic-led demand-side fiscal policy of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And the results of this study are incredible and depressing. In the last year of analysis alone, 2018, Rand projects that Americans in the bottom 90% of income earners would have made $2.5 trillion more if the Republican Revolution never happened, and the U.S. government continued with the fiscal policy championed by FDR, Lyndon Johnson, and the Democratic Party. $2.5 trillion more in 1 year. Instead, Ronald Reagan wooed Southern Democrats in Congress over to the Republican side and charmed America with his folksy demeanor. All the while, knowing his policy was gradually transferring middle-class income up to the wealthiest individuals in the country. Even more sinister, to create the illusion of his policies working, Ronald Reagan and his disciples in Congress straddled the American people with debt, the first time this had ever happened outside of war and the Great Depression. FYI, this is everything to the Republican Party. This $60 trillion, $2.5 trillion in 1 year, nearly everything the Republican Party does is to protect this. Under the demand-side policy, this is money the middle class was using to buy homes and raise a family, and poor families were using to feed their families and pull themselves out of poverty. This fiscal policy created the American middle class by leading the world in upward mobility, what we call the American dream. Today, under Republican-led supply-side economics, the United States ranks 27th in the world for upward mobility, and dropping, just behind Lithuania. And it's no mistake that the top countries in the world in upward mobility today utilize a fiscal policy very similar to the Democrat-led demand-side policy of the 50s, 60s, and 70s in the United States. Under the Democrat-led fiscal policy, this money, this $60 trillion, was spent mostly in the United States, stimulating the economy for everyone and generating tax revenue so the government can pay its bills on time. Under Republican supply-side economics, this $60 trillion is given to the wealthiest families in the country and multinational corporations, who shift much of it offshore to tax havens, ensuring that this money only benefits the ultra-elite of this world and no one else. The Rand study concludes that the median income for a full-year, full-time, prime-aged worker was $42,000 in 1975, adjusted for inflation to 2018 numbers. In 2018, that income had grown by only 16% to $50,000 under Republican fiscal policy. The counterfactual column in the Rand study shows that the median earner would be making $92,000 today if the U.S. had stayed with the Democrat-led fiscal policy. Instead, thanks to the Republican Revolution, the median income only saw an increase of 16%, while the median of the top 1% saw an increase of 321% under supply-side policy. By the way, before we go any further, do not put in the comments, it's the Democrats' fault too, and lesser of two evils, blah, 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 because that's bullshit. That's just an easy way out for people that don't actually know what they're talking about. The Democrats are not perfect. They make a lot of mistakes. But if you go back through history, the most fiscally progressive laws were passed when the Democrats had full control of the legislative and executive branches of government. More on that in a future video. This Republican policy is designed to make the rich richer at the expense of everyone else in America. This Republican fiscal policy has only two results: socio-economic inequality and massive debt. In the next video, we will discuss the debt the Republican Party has shackled to the American middle class so that it's able to gift $60 trillion to the richest individuals. Thanks for watching.